So, it's the end of a very exciting and dramatic week in Rugby League, and now we go into the biggest weekend of Super League ever, because 4 teams are level at the bottom of the Super League table, and one of them has to finish bottom. I don't say relegated, because we believe in conspiracy theories here in the Monday morning wrap-up, and who knows, Super League could just say, no, we'll leave you all in, we're not letting any teams in from the Championship. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Right, let's start in League One, and it's congratulations from everyone here at 4020 Live to Whitehaven, who are the champions of the third tier of Rugby League. They beat the Coventry Bears 72-0 on Saturday afternoon to confirm their place in the Championship next year. Other scores on the weekend: North Wales Crusaders 36, London Scholars 18, Hunslet 20, Oldham 34, Keighley 22, Newcastle 32, and Workington 4. Doncaster 30. That leaves us with the first round of the playoffs next weekend. Hunslet take on Workington in the elimination final. In the qualifying final, it's Newcastle Thunder versus Doncaster. Championship action, 2 games on Saturday. Toronto ended their regular season with a 46-12 victory over Leigh. I think they play each other again, or probably will play each other again in the playoffs, won't they? Featherstone edged out by Toulouse 26-24. In Sunday's games, Barrow beat Batley 24-16. Bit too late for Barrow. Dewsbury 8, Widnes 22, Halifax 8, York 14, Rochdale 0, Bradford 82, and Swinton 48, Sheffield 16. I guess that might be the last time we say Swinton, or maybe not. Championship playoffs then next weekend. In the elimination final, Leigh take on Featherstone. That will be a belter, won't it? And in the qualifying final, it's Toulouse Olympique versus the York City Knights. We'll get on to men's Super League in a moment, but first the women's Super League. And here's this weekend's results. Tight games: York 16, Featherstone 26, Wigan 20, Bradford 20, St Helens 20, Leeds 20, and I was at the Mobile Rocket Stadium where Wakefield Trinity scored some points. They were beaten by the Castlewood Tigers 36-4. In a moment we'll hear from a very positive sounding Wakefield coach Ken Kerr, but first, with plenty to work on, is the Tigers coach Lindsay Anfield.
Yeah, ups and downs, I guess. We did have some new girls who came in, which we were impressed with some of the stuff that they did. Yeah, we didn't have our starting normal lineup, and I think that affected how we managed the game and how it flowed. But yeah, it was okay in parts, but a lot of it was pretty disappointing, to be fair.
Yeah, the second half performance, I guess especially Wakefield, had lots of defending to, but defended well against your attack.
Yeah, they've definitely gone up a level since last time we played them. They had a few new faces in and some girls back, which was good to see for Wakefield. It was a much more competitive game. But yeah, I just thought our execution was pretty poor. Our game management from experienced players wasn't where it should be, and yeah, it just didn't flow for us today.
12 wins from 12. I guess it was a good chance, as you say, to blood some youngsters in there, knowing that some big games coming up.
Yeah, it was, and that's what games like this are all about. So I can't be too disappointed. It was great to get them in a Cash shirt, and I know the fans got behind them, which was lovely as well. So yeah, it was good.
Seems like the difference between this game and the game here in the Challenge Cup was perhaps lots of long-range tries in that game last time, but Wakefield's defence kept you back this time.
Yeah, they defended a lot tighter today. There wasn't enough room to manoeuvre down the middle. We didn't set our platform particularly well. So yeah, Wakefield were just better today, and I think probably there was a touch of our experienced girls underestimating them.
Got obviously a few games left before the playoffs. The experience of going to Bolton in that semi-final and the different experience in the build-up to that week, will that give you a bit of an advantage, do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think that was building up to Bolton. There were different sorts of games. The girls have to play under different sorts of pressure. When they have a lot of time to run with the ball, it's different to when you're playing against Leeds and you've got seconds. So yeah, it will help us. But I just think some of our girls need to really get stuck into training now. And if we are going to do anything at the back end of the season, they need to pull the socks up.
Ken, defeat obviously against the best team in the competition, but it does seem that Wakefield are improving week in, week out now.
It's an attitude thing. They've been training for the last, we've got 2 games to go, so the season's just about over, but it's just attitude, and the attitude's, it's not so much I'm bringing to the team, it's something that they've got to believe in themselves, and winning's a habit, as you know.
Lots of defence you had to do in that game, but they never stopped tackling until the final minute.
That's what it comes down to, attitude again. Like I said, it was just good to see that coming out in them when all it is like they've got the techniques, they've been shown the techniques and they got the patterns and all that. It's just down to wanting and having the commitment. It's good. I was stoked with the second half. It was brilliant.
It's obviously a difficult situation because you come into a side and Wakefield at the start of the season, everyone expected them to be at the bottom. Won a game early on against York, but there's a definite gap between the top and the bottom teams in this division. It must be difficult. Sometimes everyone looks at wins and losses, but it's the performances on the field that matter the most.
Yeah, well, that's in all rugby league, isn't it? You got the top half and the bottom half. It's the talent is spread between the top 3, 4 maybe, and the bottom. You know, please yourself. You know, you're stuck with the rest. But it's not a case of that. It's just the girls aren't. It's putting it into the right context. Like Wakefield, yeah, they're not the Super League B and N and all of it. But and you got your Wiggins, your Saints, and your Leeds, but which throw the money around. And it's just to happen that we're stuck where we are. But it'll come around, and it's just a matter of them believing in themselves. I think, yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there. Just giving them confidence. That's all I'm doing.
Lots of young players as well. It's good to see those coming through, and obviously there's a couple of experienced players in there, but lots of players getting a chance here at Wakefield.
Well, I think there's about 5 or 6. They're only 16-year-old. Like, they're playing women, you know, grown women. Half of that Cass side have played for Great Britain or England or whatever you want to call them over here these days. But they went well. I was really happy with that second half. It was brilliant. 4 sets in a row, and they kept them out. So, considering the last couple of weeks we've been letting teams run away with it in the second half, this half, I thought it was magic. It was a great improvement.
Let's say the rest of a couple of their star players, but there's still internationals all over the field. To go from 100-0 here in the Challenge Cup to actually scoring a try at least at the end, and only conceding 36 points. That's not a bad result against a team that's unbeaten this year.
That's the least amount of points we've conceded since I've only taken over. This is my 3rd game, but they've been getting put in 50 past us in the last couple of games. In the second half, they just haven't switched on. But they were committed, and it's believing in themselves, and it was good. I was really happy with that. It's an attitude. Like I keep saying, it's an attitude thing, and it just showed today in that second half. They really dug deep, and I think we won the punch-up too, didn't we?
And the same challenge again next week against Leeds and Challenge Cup winners, and it's that same attitude I guess you're looking for.
Oh, spot on. But they'll go in believing in themselves now. They've got a bit of confidence, and fair enough, they didn't win, but they know they improved, and you see them that they singing songs in there, and it was brilliant. It's really good, and it's encouraging to know that they do listen and they can perform and they do the job.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
12 wins from 12 games. Castlewood top of the table, 4 points clear of St Helens. They play York on Tuesday, I think it is, and a point in that game would secure them the League Leaders Shield. So that would be an interesting game, won't it? Leeds and St Helens. Well, St Helens is 2nd on 20 points. Leeds are 3rd on 16. Hang on, this league table's not been updated, has it? Because it still doesn't have a drawer next to their name. Well, they're still where they are, but they've got an extra point. Wigan are 4th after playing 12 games with 13 points. That's right, because they drew with Bradford, who are 5th on 9. Featherstone are 6th on 6 points, I think. York can wait for the back up too. I don't think they've updated the table properly. Next weekend, there are more fixtures in Women's Super League. I know Wakefield play Leeds because that might be moved. It's supposed to be on the Saturday afternoon, but, with what's happening on Friday, well, we'll talk about it on Monday night. Right, Super League. We need to talk about Super League, and the men's one, that is. We'll start on Thursday. Castleford Tigers end the weekend in 5th. They bounced back from defeat with victory over Hull FC, 44-12. I mean, Castle were great, but Hull, dreadful. 3 defeats in a row now for the Black and Whites, who drop out of the top 5 after the weekend's other results. Let's hear from a jubilant Castleford Tigers coach, well, as jubilant as he is, Darryl Powell.
I thought there were lots of real quality things from us. And I think the first 30-ish minutes, I thought we were superb, with and without the ball. We lost our way a little bit after that, and I thought in the second half we were a little bit conservative at times. But we made a few too many errors. But I think the most impressive thing about us is when we're making errors, we're not conceding points. I think defensively we're in a much better place than we have been for a fair while, and I was pretty impressed with the durability of the team, and there's some really good players are playing really well, and as a team we're functioning a lot better, I think. So yeah, I was really impressed with us.
Did the first 30-minute performance showcase just how much you needed to get that result, that sort of platform for a game of that magnitude?
Yeah, I think so. I thought we showed that we really wanted to win the game. Our commitment to each other, defensively, we're so much better. Attitude-wise, I think we're in a great place. We know we're outsiders, but I don't think it really matters to us. We're playing with confidence, without fear, really. I think it's helpful when you can do that.
Where does that Jake Truman performance rank tonight?
Well, he's just fantastic, isn't he? I think the boys call him world class, and I think he's every chance of being that for a long time to come. I mean, some of the things he does are just so instinctive. He's got a cheekiness about his game. I mean, we actually had a moment in a meeting this week where Jesse said, "I'll look after Tui." Obviously, they've got some strong back rowers. Says, "Don't worry about that, mate. He'll look after you." Defensively, he's just so strong. He's so unassuming as well. I was saying to Shez, he's old school as well. He's just I just love watching him play. I thought tonight he was outstanding.
As far as 20-year-olds go, is he the best you've seen?
Yeah, I think I made a statement that he's the best 20-year-old I'd seen since Shez, actually. So I played with Ryan when he was 20 years old, and he was similar in some ways. He was a bit quiet. He was like a bullet out of a gun, Shez. Didn't have some of the things that Tui had, but he did possess some real speed, and I think Tui's in that sort of bracket. He's just a fantastic player, yeah, and a great kid as well. You know, like I say, you won't see him going and shooting his mouth off anywhere. He just gets on with his work and does it in an unassuming way. Yeah, I thought it was a top quality performance for him tonight.
Next Thursday, it's Wigan versus Castleford. Wigan, of course, were winners over the Catalan Dragons on Friday night. No one expected anything different, did they? Wigan second in the table on 34 points, having beaten the Catalan Dragons by 46 points to 12. So they'll know, of course, by the end of Thursday whether they have secured second place or not. Elsewhere on Friday, Leeds lost to Salford 20 points to 12 in a close game at Emerald Headingley Stadium. In a moment we'll hear from Richard Agar. By the time you hear this, he might be confirmed as their new coach. But first, here is the victorious Ian Watson.
Yeah, great win. The big pleasing thing as well was the D. After the second half started, we had 20 minutes, I think, on our goal line, and just the resilience, what we spoke about. If we want to be a top team, we've got to be able to go through them periods and come through the other side, and I think that kind of shown our mettle today. I thought Leeds gave us a real good test of what it's going to be like when we're facing playoff football, to be fair.
Yeah, our record's not the greatest day. Was that discussed during the week?
Oh, we spoke about having an attitude. We know playoff football's won by attitude and by effort, and it's important that we get all them little bits right, as well as obviously all your little bits of detail. But it's about you doing your job, and the big games are coming thick and fast at the moment as well. So that was a really good one for us. I think it's the first time we've done the double over Leeds home and away since 49 or something like that. So it's a long time for us to wait for a victory there. So I'm really pleased with the result today.
Was that a semi-final type performance? Because you didn't really, defend it with everything. You really ground that game.
Yeah. It's what we spoke. We spoke at half time. We had a lead at half time. We said we're not bothered if we score again second half. Play, use it now basically, and think about going forward into playoffs. This is the mentality where you've got to be able to defend and back your transitions. And I thought we did that really, really well. And then I thought we wore them down in good ball. We spoke about not trying to throw the ball too much, trying to go to the edges to work the middles. And I think if you saw their middles after, I mean, we defended the first 20 minutes. Our middles were great. But I think if you saw theirs after the next 10 minutes, Brad Dwyer was out on his feet, Stevie Ward was out on his feet. They were out on the feet there, and we just knew if we were a little bit more patient in there, we'd get them. And that's that cup final and semi-final football that you need to have that mentality to be able to do that as well. So we've proved today that we've got it in our locker.
7 in a row. I mean, the confidence in the club, the squad must be just sky high.
Yeah, like I say, the boys have been great throughout that as well. Even earlier in the year, where we were kind of building our foundations and learning about each other a little bit. To have the disruption of obviously losing Robbie and bringing Tui in was obviously a little bit of a disruption. But I will say one thing: we've been a hell of a lot consistent. Tui's really brought that kind of consistency to our team. And again, I thought he defended really well. We knew they'd target him today. They kept trying to put leads on him and angles on him, but I thought he stood up manfully today. I thought he was outstanding indeed.
How far can this team go now? I mean, I don't think anyone will want to play you in this.
Yeah,
this form.
For us, it's each week. Take it back each week, and like I say, we don't fear playing any team. We've got good players there. The test was whether we could go through certain stages like that, which we have been in the last 2 games, where we've had that sets to defend on our goal line and then come through the other side. I thought we was going to come through it when we intercepted it, and then Jacko got it, but it got knocked out of his arm as well, so that put us back under pressure. But again, we didn't drop our heads there. We turned up again, defended the next set, and then I think we won a penalty coming out on the back of the next one as well. So yeah, no, we've got the mentality to be able to win big games.
I thought throughout the game, really, I thought we defended heroically in the second half. I didn't think we did much wrong in the first half, really. Lacked a bit of line speed, but thought we got caught on 2 plays. You know, sort of missed a tackle on Hastings, a one-on-one, and then Harry and Luke sort of got it wrong on that right edge. And I thought we got burnt for 12 points. Well, certainly burnt for 10 points, 12 points on 2 plays. But I point to field position, Pete. I thought we played a lot of the game in our half. I thought a real big difference in the teams tonight were the end of sets. You know, we've probably taken a little bit of a lesson from Salford that they just kept chipping away, keep chasing, and for us, you know, a few too many errors in the first half. But you know, I thought we had some puzzling last plays that just never let us attain any sort of field position, certainly through the first half. I thought we got the message a little bit more in second half. I thought when we defended the sets on his own line, you know, it was a tremendous effort from our guys. And then we threw the ball away next set, and I think that sort of set the position up for Salford. But I'd say I think we can take a lot of lessons from Salford, the way they play the game, and manfully stuck to what they were doing and just waited for their opportunities and took them. You know, I'll say from our point of view, well, there were parts of his attack again. But, you know, I thought we made some real questionable decisions with the ball. But, you know, I think they defended pretty well as well.
What do you put those questionable decisions on last play down to, Rich?
Poor decisions from some personnel, really. You know, I think, you know, we could have done better on his last plays, and it's a collective, it's a team. But at the same time, you know, I think a couple of individuals have got to grasp a little bit more responsibility on those plays.
I'd say that you certainly responded, you know, just before half time and just after. You had the momentum fairly in the second half, and you looked like really troubled Salford at times. Yeah,
we did, but they held up. You know, I thought they held the clubs up pretty well, really. You know, it took a kick play to break them down, and sometimes that's what you got to do. But I say the same for both teams, really. I thought both teams looked particularly tough to break down, but for us, I just thought the battle of the field position, we sort of won by them a little bit, really, and just gave them that few more opportunities.
So Leeds are safe. Likely finished 8th, depending on how the other results go at the weekend, but they're safe, that's the main thing. Salford are 4th. They could still sneak into 2nd or 3rd, depending on how results go again for them over the weekend. They've got a game against Hull Kingston Rovers, who of course lost to London in a dramatic finish. Jay Pitts with the try, 20 points to 16 victory for London, which means it goes down to the final game of the season at the bottom of the table. Saints are top 50 points. They nearly hit 50 on the pitch as well. They beat Huddersfield 48-6. Here's their coach, Justin Holbrook.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks we've had, there's been all different emotions, and this was a normal week, and we played that way, which was great. So, yeah, really good performance tonight.
Big scoreline, but you didn't have that much more goal than them, did you? You scored when you got within range.
Yeah, that's right, which was important, and really good from us. Defensively fantastic again, and as you said, we didn't have a great deal more ball, and then we still come up with a few errors, but conditions were tough there for a while, sort of coming down with a bit of rain there early in that second half made it hard, but just thought some of our execution was really quality too, which was great. We got back to that, which was really important. Scored some real good tries through some great execution, so really happy.
Important to give Big Al those minutes because she brought him again, didn't you?
Yeah, it was great. For himself, Robes again, and obviously to have Cootie back in tonight. Thought he was great for us. So to get those guys some match fitness leading into the finals is the most important. As I said, I think we're going to hit the finals at a real good time for our squad.
Pretty faultless at the back, wasn't he, Cootie, feeding those balls and running it back in?
Yeah, terrific from him. I thought obviously our forwards were tremendous tonight. Tomo, Big Al, Louis. They all played well, but Cootie at the back. So really good performance.
Someone can really gallop, can't he? I think Louis was trying to outdo there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. They're good athletes, that's for sure, and play well. And Huddersfield had a fair few troops out, so keep it in perspective. But still, you got to play well, and we had a choice, and we did that tonight. So really happy.
Not possible.
Yeah, I actually haven't checked. Yeah, obviously got a bad sort of head clash early, so I'm assuming he'd be okay, but I haven't seen him.
Bonus of him Bentley on the bench.
Yeah, worked out well, didn't it? He's a great versatile player, James. So to come on so early for us and did a great job out of position, so it was handy.
Did that spoil what you wanted to do with Bentley tonight? Because I imagine you wanted to play somewhere differently tonight.
Yeah. Well, he's got that luxury of having him so versatile. So not quite sure where he was going to play. He was definitely going to play some 9 at some time to give Robes a bit of a rest. So he did that as well for us at the end. So he's pretty handy.
Unbeaten home season, you must be happy.
Yeah, tremendous. I think it's obviously really difficult to do, and to be able to win all our home games in the regular season's a huge effort and something that we're really proud of. And I think someone said the other day we hadn't done it as a club since 2002, and for myself it's the first year that nobody's mentioned Knowsley Road. It's got a great history, Knowsley Road, and I'm not trying to downplay that, but even last year everyone spoke about Knowsley Road a lot, and as a group we said, well, we're going to create our own mark with this new stadium. It's now 7 years old and we're still talking about an old stadium. That's how good it was. But for us to do what we've done here this year and have the fans really get behind us, and they play a big part in that. So to go the regular season unbeaten at home is a great achievement.
And so it all goes down to the final game of the season with 4 teams involved, because Wakefield weren't able to beat Warrington 16-0 down, left themselves too much to do, came back well in the second half, won the second half 16-7, but you don't get points for that, despite what Nigel Wood suggested a few years ago. So Warrington win 23-16. We'll hear from Chris Chester in a moment, but first, here's Steve Price.
Great first half, but second half Warrington just seemed to slack off a little bit.
It was a fantastic first half. Everything we set out to do pre-game was instrumental, and had a lot of second phase controlled offloads, and we're moving the point of attack back row. Saw some Merds and Benny Curry saw some good clean ball, and I thought we could have maybe went a little bit further ahead in that first half. But I was really pleased with how we carried out our plan, the execution, and then the second half we just sort of took the foot off. They were there to be they were on the ground ready to be choked, and we sort of took it off a little bit in the second half. But the most pleasing thing was getting the W. That's all we can at tonight, and we'll get a lot of belief and confidence. We got that 2 weeks ago out of the Challenge Cup, and to get back in the Super League and get the 2 points. That's all that mattered tonight.
Some real fast hands football as well tonight. It's probably the most impressive Warrington have been at times.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. It was free flowing and played some really good attacking football, especially in that first 40 minutes. But as I said, we'll get a lot of confidence out of it. We've got no injuries out of the game, and the boys are in good spirits, which is the main thing.
There's some real good forward play as well, again, from Ben Murdoch, Marcelo, Jason Clark, Mike Cooper, Chris Hill. How much energy are these guys burning up at all?
Yeah, that's right. It was, we created a lot of ruck speed tonight, and we got them off the bit, and we're going at them over the advantage line, with a lot of numbers and push around the ball, and 16-0 up. I thought it could have been 24-26, and always in control. But all Wakefield teams, they always turn it on the second half, don't they? And they know how to play second half rugby, and credit to them.
What was the thinking behind having both Jake and Matty on the bench?
Yeah, I just thought it was the best way to go tonight. It worked well with Jakey, going to centre, and Toby in the Challenge Cup with Merds, and just with Matty Smith can play, in the halves, and Blake's first game back, and also too he can back up as a 9. So I just thought that was the best way to go. We've got 3 middles that can play big minutes.
Were you especially pleased? Like you said, you mentioned earlier the second phase play. Is that something you've been trying to encourage in the last couple of weeks? Yeah,
it's a matter of time and place there, Matt. Conditions play that part, and the style of footy, and that got put in the pocket over the last couple of weeks, and we always, over the next couple of weeks, hopefully we can see a little bit more of that. But I thought there was some really big efforts tonight, and we're in good shape as a club. We're fighting for that top 2 spot there. It's still there. Just got to go down to Leeds, and it's going to be a tough game down there, and then we'll see where we end up.
What was thinking behind Jack Hughes missing tonight? Was it just resting him?
Yeah, he's got a few niggles at the moment. He's been playing with a fair few needles over the last couple of weeks. So he'll hopefully be back next week.
Did you need that sort of game tonight just to get you back into the swing of things?
Yeah, it's just good to get the win. We're back in Super League mode, and that's all that counts. It was a fantastic turnout tonight. For Benny's farewell, and what a true legend of the club. He he's the ultimate warrior. He's always wears his heart on his sleeve, and every time he's donned our jersey, he's always worn it with a huge amount of pride. And he's just one of those players that every player just loves playing with, and he's represented Warrington Wolves over those 17 years with absolute honour and pride, and he deserves a big rap.
No, we give him too much. We give ourselves too much to do that second half, didn't we? I thought we were a little bit unlucky going in 16-0 at half time. I thought defensively we were pretty good. Just some individual misses. The big one was that one just before half time. Josh Charnley run over the top. I think Rocky there down that sideline. Just simple one-on-one tackles that we missed. Same with the Darryl Clark, Sean Gore. But yeah, bags of effort tonight. But I thought we were better side. Certainly that second half. And showed some grit and determination, some courage to get ourselves back in the game. So yeah, tale of two halves. Probably been the story of the season.
16-12 down. Did you think you had them at that point?
We thought we had the momentum all that second half. We fixed a few things up at half time. We were way off with the ball, but we were fairly confident that we were going to get a result. But then we lose the ball. I think play 2 or play 3 after we score that try, and I think they go and score off the back of that. So that was disappointing. But yeah, listen, they were fantastic tonight. There were very little in the two teams. I think we've been good the last 4 or 5 weeks. So proud of the boys tonight. And with a little bit of luck, we could have got a result. But we just give ourselves too much to do with that after that first 40 minutes.
London have won tonight. It's going to come down to the final week.
Yeah, well, we always knew that we needed to win another game. They're fighting hard, they're working hard for each other. But I'm here to talk about my boys, and I thought they were great tonight, and lucky not to get the result.
It's going to be a high pressure week next week. Obviously, the build up and next week. You confident your boys can cope with that?
Yeah, I think so. we just spoke there in the dressing room. It's just going to take one more big effort, and you know, if we can get that big effort and get the game won, then you know, I think we can all breathe a little bit easier. So yeah, another big week. You know, I'll try and keep the pressure off the boys, and you know, and then hopefully we can get the result done next week.
Are you surprised you find yourself in this position after such a good start? How it's all?
No, not really. No, not when you look at the quality that we've got sat on the side. Like I said, we lost 3 last week, and we've had Fafita and Arona and Tupu, Milky missing for large parts, Matty Ashurst missing for large parts of the game. So you know, we just run out of quality. That's the that's the big thing. But you know, the players that we've got will give it their all next week. And like I said, we've got to make sure that we prepare the best that we possibly can, and make sure we get the result.
And the man who's had an impressive year for the Wolves is Aussie forward Jason Clarke, and we caught up with him pitchside after the game.
Jason, congratulations in the playoffs. A much needed win, I guess.
Yeah, well, one of our staff just said, we're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, but to be honest, I didn't even think of it that way. You just want to win every game.
You've won tonight. It's been the first one in Super League in 7. It seems hard to think, but a great performance. It felt in that first half back to the Warrington we saw earlier in the season. Yeah,
obviously, you know, having Blake there back in the halves was a bit different for us for the last couple of weeks, but you know, it just comes down to, you know, working as a team and finishing off the game strong. And we started well, a bit of a hiccup in the middle of the game there, but finished strong.
You did indeed. Talk us through that offload for the first try for Darryl Clark.
Yeah, well, I think it was just lucky. My hand just broke free, and Daz was ready for it. Luckily, he saw the ball coming. Otherwise, it would have just been on the ground. So he finished it off and made it look good.
Last time I spoke to you was ahead of Easter, when I think you were looking forward to that. What a 2 weeks it's been. You've been at Wembley, you've won at Wembley, and now you're in the playoffs. Can I ask you about Wembley? What was it like for you?
Mate, to me, it actually came real quick, and the way that our staff handled it were really good, quite calm. You know, I spoke to a few English boys back in Oz, and you know, them telling me it was a dream come true for them to be able to play there. You know, made it sort of hit home to me how special an event it was. You know, you look through the stadium, and the events that have been held there at Wembley is unbelievable. They've had concerts, NFL games, football, which is football but soccer, but the amount of events that have been played there and the people that have been there, you know, it's quite humbling.
How tough was it mentally after? You know, I mean, because it must have been an emotional occasion for you and the boys.
Yeah, definitely. The build-up to Wembley week is big, but the thing that you find stumbling was when you get ready for one of those big games. That's a final. You win it, and you can relax, and it's all done. But we played the next week, and we had quite an actual short turnaround. So as much as you want to celebrate and enjoy a win for such a big event, you had to refocus for the following week because we had a Thursday game.
A lot of players I've spoke to say they feel Old Trafford's even better than Wembley, so that's the next objective, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's something that I haven't put too much thought into. I'm sort of one of those players that take a week at a time because, you know, the future's, you know, it's anything can happen between now and then. So I think it's about 4 or 5 weeks away, but you know, we're working hard towards that.
You've played a lot of games yourself. Can you imagine playing over 500 like Ben Westwood's done?
Mate, Benny, there's not many like Benny. He's unbelievable. You know, I feel very lucky to be able to say I played with him. Speaking of Sam Burgess, before I come over, he said how much of a great bloke he is, and you know, full credit to him. He's an unbelievable man. The way he handles his rugby, and you know, away from the game, he's one of a kind.
So it's been a pretty eventful year so far, and now the playoffs. So you've got to go to Leeds next week. You could finish anywhere really, from second down to fifth. It's important you win next week, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, once again, I haven't looked too far ahead. You know, the last time we versed Leeds was round 1, and they had a few hiccups then. But you know, can you imagine? I think 28, 29 rounds later, they're going to be a different team. So. Plus, going out to Leeds is going to be a big game for us as well.
And I asked you last time if you were enjoying your English experience. I guess you still are.
Yeah, loving it, mate. It's been ups and downs with the wife and the kids. It's a very different event, but rugby-wise, it's you know, 29 games. It's unbelievable to think there's still finals to go. It's you know, you've got to get the body right, and our staff do a really good job with us here as well.
So basically, I mean, you know, everyone's interested in the top 5 and who finishes in what position and whatever, and whether Hull or Castle would take that final place. But it's all about the bottom 4, isn't it? Huddersfield, well, they've got the home tie against Catalan, so you expect them to win that. Hull are at Salford. Salford with plenty to play for in terms of those playoff places. And second bites of the cherry and so on and so forth. But both teams know that if they win, they're safe, as do Wakefield and London, who meet at the Mobile Rockets on Friday night. We'll be there, and we'll be talking all about it on that Monday night from 6. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Johnny Davidson on Aussie to celebrate the Ashes' success will be here in the studio, and we'll be talking more Rugby League, of course, here on the podcast. Make sure you download, subscribe, YouTube, subscribe, download. You can't download, subscribe. Do whatever you need to do, and make sure you're back with us again next week as we are either crying or celebrating on the Monday morning wrap-up. Purely neutral, of course.